The Chelsea Garden Show just wrapped up last weekend in England. It's the biggest, craziest show that they have there. And the Chelsea Chop is the concept that after the Chelsea Flower Show is finished, that's when you begin to cut back any of those plants of yours that might get too unruly further along. But one of the side benefits of doing that, and I'm gonna have each one of you go and we're gonna chop some of the things in this garden. What it does is it will double the bloom. So here's this aster, and everybody can take one. Any of the ones that are looking a little wilty, I just took those out a couple days ago. Just water them. But what we'll do, and we'll go in here with the phlox, is I just nip out the end like that. You see that? I just nipped out that little bit. And what's going to happen is it's going to force that apical bud to split into two. So you're basically going to double the number of flowers that you get off of the plant. So you can take this home and chop it yourself. We'll go into the garden here. But the idea of the Chelsea Chop is you want to take it like from now until like say 4th of July. There are some plants that you're going to want to chop and there's some that you're not going to chop. I just chopped last week. I have some Joe Pye that's seeded in. They always seem to seed in the rock areas, right? And it's right in front of where I grow some tomatoes. So it shades out the tomatoes. So I took that bugger down to this high and I just chopped it. Because you can't really see it right now, it's behind a bench and it will grow up. But I don't like that look where it's just all chopped down. Some things you can do, so that's why for the certain plants that I do, I'll just nip out the top or maybe take off the first couple. And you want to take it down to a leaf node. You see what I'm saying? So you would chop it out and leave some leaves. So a leaf node would be like that area right there. So right above where the leaf joins the stem, that's where you'll take it out. I wouldn't do it for something like echinacea, but I've done it for certain rudbeckia, certainly the phlox. We're going to get into some of the phlox, and it really does extend, expand the bloom that you're going to get. Trying to think what else.
Could you point that out again where the leaf?
Pardon me?
Could you point that out again where the leaf joins the stem?
Okay, we'll do it.
Like they all do.
They all do. Yeah, well, they all do. They're all. So the idea is that you don't want to leave. Like I wouldn't cut it here.
Where?
So I wouldn't cut it here and just leave the stem sticking up at the top.
Yeah.
That's the concept. You want to get it where it's right above the leaf node, where the leaf attaches to the stem.
Yeah.
So let's take.
That's where it's going to bloom again?
That's where it's going to bloom again. It'll split out, right? You can do it. There's a lot of, like, my asters are the worst. I just got a photo from one of my students and she said, "Oh, I'm so glad that I took your class. I got all these natives in my garden, but look at these asters. They're all over my sidewalk. Is there anything I can do?" Well, asters in particular, they will get pretty tall. We have one back here. It's called October Skies, and October Skies will get this big, and you might not want it that big. So we're going to cut some of these things down, and I'll show you, how we'll do that. So let's just take a walk over here right now, and we'll walk right into this beautiful garden. This lovely lady asked us a question. After the penstemon blooms, would you cut the bloom off? No. And here's the reason I would not do it. Because when it's done blooming, it gets a very pretty seed head. And the birds will like the seed heads, and if you're lucky, it'll seed around a little bit. I have some growing up in different places, but I leave them. Now, some things are not so pretty, but I tend to leave them because then the birds get them. I do leave a lot of these things, like for instance, we have our echinacea right back here. We have some echinacea in there. I leave those through the winter. In fact, I just started taking some of them down because the birds will eat the seed heads through the winter. So let's just take a look at this. You can see this. Here is the phlox. I'm pretty sure this is Jenna, Phlox paniculata Jenna, right? All right, so what I'm going to have you do is we're going to do exactly what we did. You can't kill this plant by doing this. You could cut this down to here, but I don't like the way that looks, okay? So why don't you all pick one of these? There's a couple of them around. Let's see. We've got some more in here. See these little ones in here? And you're just going to go right down to that node and nip that out, right? Let's leave 2 leaves, okay? So we'll leave the top 2 leaves. And then when you come back here in a month or 2, you'll see those dipping out and making a double. So come on over here and do some, so just so you can feel what it's like and how it works. I want to let you understand about this Chelsea Chop. You want to do this at least a month
All right.
before this plant is ready to bloom. Okay, so you want to make sure that you if you're going to Chelsea chop it, you want to do it about a month or two before you would technically see it blooming. So I always say I stop the Chelsea chop by the 4th of July for anything that's going to bloom late summer into the fall.